dementia, connecting our lives to help us survive. So we spend our time to the full.
Hi, and welcome to Professional Insights, created by Dementia Action Alliance. I'm proud to be your host, Laurie Scher. During our Professional Insights podcast, we have educational conversations with professionals in the dementia community to provide answers and support to people living with dementia and care partners. Today, my guest is Lori LeBay. Lori is the founder of Alzheimer's Speaks, Dementia #1 Alzheimer's podcast, once again for 2022. She's a co-founder of Dementia Map. She co-hosts and producer of Conscious Caregiving with L&L. She's also the author of a really adorable book called Betty the Bald Chicken, Lesson in How to Care, and Building Brands and Raising Voice to Shift Dementia Care from Crisis to Comfort, a free educational resource. Our topic today is advocacy and getting involved in the dementia community. Lori, welcome, and thank you so much for being with us today.
I'm thrilled to be here. So thanks for having me, Lori.
Well, boy, I have some questions for you. And first off, you know that I just admire you and all your work that you do so much. It's just been wonderful to work with you for, I don't know, probably 7 years now. We've been working together, and it's been a joy. But for those of us that don't know, tell us about Dementia Chats. What is it, and how do people get involved?
So Dementia Chats is a platform. We meet once a month, and anybody with dementia is welcome to reach out to me and be part of that panel. We never know who's going to show up because so many of you guys are busy speaking and doing different things, which is exciting. We get together and for about a half an hour, we chit chat, just kind of catch up, and we pick a topic. We used to try to set a topic ahead of time, but the world's moving and shaking. And so we've just found to get together and be able to pick a topic that everyone's talking about, and then be able to explore that and have all the different voices. You know, everyone's got different types of dementias. They're at different stages. And, you know, their situations are different. So they are so powerful, and they help not only others living with dementia, but families and professionals really hear what it's like and how can they do better to serve you. Sometimes it's tough asking a family member a particular question, but they can go and see these videos, and it's like, oh my gosh, this helps so much.
Well, how do we find these chats? And if I'm a person living with dementia and I'd like to be involved in the chats, what do I do?
So you can go to alzheimersspeaks.com and then go to our free educational resources. And on that page, you will see Dementia Chats. Just click on that. You can access some of the most recent ones. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can even print out a PDF of them. We also have a playlist button you can go to so you can subscribe so you don't miss one. We usually do those on a monthly basis. And then there's, of course, also a button if you want to be a panelist. You can reach out to me and email me, and then we can set up a time to chat. And like I said, everyone's welcome. We want to hear, you know, the whole goal with Dementia Chats is to raise those living with dementia. You guys are the experts, you know, and you're so insightful. So I just wanted to give a platform for people to be able to find that. So again, alzheimersspeaks.com, and then the free educational resources tab, you'll find Dementia Chats.
Well, thank you. And I know through the years I've been involved with Dementia Chats. When I can, I really try every month. I do, I swear. I just don't always make it, but I try. And I've met so many people through Dementia Action Alliance and through Alzheimer's Speaks. And I think back on some of the people that I absolutely adored and that were mentors to me: Susan Sutchin, Robert Bowles, Pauline Gordon, and they were all involved in Dementia Chats. But I know you have met a lot of people from all over the world that are living with dementia and living well with dementia. I want to ask you, have you seen a pattern in the people that are advocating, that are involved, that are helping others. Have you seen any kind of a pattern on how this helps the person living with dementia when they're helping others?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I've been screaming that from the rooftops. I'd love to see a study done on this because I hear repeatedly from everybody, I have never felt so purposeful. It energizes me. I feel whole and I feel hopeful. I mean, what more can you ask for in life? In so many times people say, I've never felt this purposeful in my life prior to dementia. Dementia has really turned into a gift of connection on a deeper level because you're not talking about weather and the sports. You're not so worried what other people think. You are really out on a mission to be your authentic self, tell your true story, because without that, we will never be able to serve you well. And so the bravery of breaking through the stigma is just amazing. I mean, I had a hospital over in the UK reach out and say, what do we have to do to be able to use these for training? Click on it. That's it. They're like, you don't want anything? I said, absolutely not. This is free content and we want people to be able to access it 24/7 whenever they need it, whoever they are. That's the whole purpose is to pass it on.
Mhm. Thank you. And, for me, Lori, being involved, being an advocate and being so involved in DAA and other things, it has helped me not only have a purpose, but also it helps me to reach into some of those skills I used to have. And I can't do a lot of the skills I used to do. I used to write programs that were like, 10 feet long, and I can't do programming anymore. I can't do math anymore. But by being involved, I found, there's so many things I still can do. It makes me feel not so useless and thrown away because I know there's things I can still participate in, and it's been a real joy to be able to have a voice. What you've been doing Dementia Chats for how long?
Oh gosh, we started, I want to say in 2013, 2011, something like that. I don't have the exact, I'm not good at my numbers and tracking things down. I just kind of start them and keep going, with them. But I think it was the radio show in 2011. You know what? I think Dementia Chats might have been 2011 too.
Wow. And plus, you've been involved in all kinds of other things with dementia over the years. So I want to ask you this as one of the people that has been around and doing this for a while. What changes have you seen in dementia care, support, and the stigma over the years that were a direct result or a partial result of involvement and advocacy by people living with dementia? What changes have we seen?
Well, stigma is with us and it'll probably always be there at some level, but it has decreased immensely. And we still need to, do more front roads and cut through that path. But the fear really helps, be subsided. One of the things that I see all the time and I hear from people is if it's through a support group like a memory cafe, or if it's through one of your discussion groups or dementia chats, any of those types of things, the first time people come to one of those, they're shocked because they walk out of the doctor's office thinking it's end stages, my life is over. That's kind of what they're told. And so all of this advocating is really changing that. And it's nice to see even at the advocacy level, with the state and the policymakers, that young people are being brought to the forefront instead of pushed to the back or not even invited. Because initially, I know, because I remember going to this our capital, and I remember saying to somebody, "This has to change. There are so many people that are alive and living well, that need support. People need to know this is not just end stages. And it was nice to see the next year they did change that. And
Awesome.
that whole stigma piece is huge. But we can't change stigma. We can't bust through it if we don't have people willing to speak up and tell their stories. And their stories are so powerful, so powerful.
Thank you, Lori. I know I look back over the years I've been speaking, and the first time that I stood up to speak in a large group, it was over 100 people. I remember the people just looked at me like, she can talk? Really? She can talk? She has dementia and she can talk? And it was so interesting to hear the comments from people that were just shocked that people living with dementia actually could get up and say something. So versus now, there's still a lot of stigma, as you said, there is. And sometimes it's hard because we concentrate on what it is now. But I can look back over the past 8 years and see that it's not as bad as it was. It still has far to go, but
Can I add something to what you're saying there?
Yeah.
I'll never forget being at one of conferences. I want to say it was out in Washington. And when I go to speak, I try to always encourage that I'm allowed to have a panel of people as well, because I think your voice is much more important than mine. And we were talking to professionals, and the shock that you talk about, what shocked me was that professionals were shocked. And they all come up and say, I have never learned so much at a conference. This has totally changed how I view dementia, how I need to approach dementia. I had one gentleman who was an executive director for like 20 years, broke down in tears.
Wow.
Because his own dad had dementia, and he said, I have been telling my families the wrong things. I know that now because I'm on the other side. And, just emphasize how important it is to hear your voices.
Wow. Well, Lori, I want to thank you for all you do for people living with dementia and the dementia communities and your advocacy. You just are awesome, and I appreciate you. I also want to thank you for joining us today to share information about advocacy and getting involved in the dementia community. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Can I add one other thing? And this is something that we do together, is our Dementia in the Arts group.
Yes.
You have your Facebook page where people with dementia can go ahead and post things. And then what I do on my side is we get people together and we videotape them, and they showcase their work. And that is such a great stigma buster as well. And it shows the purpose. And people say, my spouse has to drag me away and say it's time to eat or it's time to go to bed. But they all talk about when they're doing their artwork and they're really engrossed in it, how important it is, and that calmness alleviates their symptoms. It really pushes them aside. And so I just wanted to give a plug for that. And again, you can go to our free resources tab. You can click on that and find out how to reach me to be part of that. And then go to the Arts and Dementia page on Facebook that DAA has as well.
It's the Dementia Action Alliance Arts and
Dementia, I think is what it's
Arts and Dementia. Duh. Yeah. And that is a pretty awesome group. And I know the arts have made a difference in so many people living with dementia. Really has. People that never painted before now are suddenly drawing or photography or all kinds of things. So thank you for throwing that in. I appreciate that. I'd also like to thank you, our viewers, for joining Dementia Action Alliance for this Professional Insights podcast. Please visit our website, daanow.org, to view other podcasts, find valuable resources, and find ways to connect with other people living with dementia, such as myself, through our virtual discussion and engagement groups. DAA is committed to enhancing lives, connecting people, and increasing understanding. Thank you for being here today.
So we live our life to the fullest we can.